Welcome to my internship portfolio presentation. This was done for the Educational Technology Master's Program with Loyola University. As you can see from my table of contents, I will include all of the information that I had to do for preparing for this internship portfolio, which included staff interviews as well as staff surveys, and how those things actually directed my decisions that I made for this portfolio. I will also include my technology integration plan that included the gaining the administrative support, my professional development action plan, as well as all the work that we did through the technology committee. This portfolio presentation also includes lessons learned from implementing this plan, as well as feedback and reflections, and my course reflections as well. My name is Claudette Clark, and I'm a National Board Certified Teacher with Prince George's County Public Schools. I've taught in the middle schools for 19 years, and I'm currently at Dwight D. Eisner Middle School in Laurel, Maryland, and I am a wife and mother. And I'm also the department chair at Dwight D. Eisner Middle School and the coordinator for and also many other things. The rationale for the technology integration portfolio began with some staff interviews. One of the courses that we took included our actually getting some feedback from staff members about how technology is integrated within our schools. And based on this feedback, as you can see, I had quite a bit of feedback. I interviewed several staff members, and you can see that these staff members believe that technology can help to bridge the gap for students, and that it can create innovative education. Technologies, some staff members felt that we lacked the resources, some of the resources, or at least accessibility to some of the resources in order to properly integrate technology into our classrooms. Some staff members felt as if the technology integration would actually help us save time, as well as to help differentiate our instructions. It was clear in speaking with my colleagues that they believe that the technology needed to be taught, and felt that if it were taught, it would make it certainly more fun because you pretty much know what you're doing in a better way. And also part of the feedback was that many staff members felt there just wasn't enough time to implement some of the things that we learned through many PDs over the years, and that some of the resources are just not available early enough for students to be able to fully utilize them, and for teachers to fully integrate the technology so that student achievement can be increased. So in speaking with my colleagues, the conclusions that I came to were, and also in looking at research through another course into how effective technology could be in the classroom, what I concluded was that effective technology integration in the classroom will improve student achievement, but of course it has to be done in the right way. Also, our school had received a number of technology devices that can be used effectively to integrate technology, but we were just simply not using those devices correctly or effectively, and also accessibility to those devices created a huge barrier for us. The staff survey revealed that the need for technology integration professional development plan as well. And of course, the staff actually identified several technology resources that they would like to learn. Some of the questions that were in the survey that I sent to staff, and it was a Google Forms survey that I used, is what were their role within the school, what is their preferred technology device, and what I found was that most of the reading language arts teachers and the science teachers prefer the Chromebooks because many of the things that they needed to do was just very difficult on the iPads. Math teachers preferred, actually math teachers could go with either one, but many said the iPads because many of the apps on the iPad were math related. What is the curriculum related reasons for students using the devices? Because I wanted to make sure that the reason why the teachers wanted the devices was actually to improve instructions. What technology resources would you like to see your students use or be exposed to? This gave teachers a reason to kind of dig a little bit deep to see what is out there, what is available, and what is it that they know and do not know. And then, of course, through the technology plan, we would try to fill in the gaps and meet some of the needs. Which technology resources do you feel comfortable teaching to colleagues? Many of my colleagues in my building are experts in some of these technology resources. So I felt that it would be prudent for me to pull them in as trainers as well. And then also, would you like to join the technology committee? Of course, part of the function of this portfolio internship was to actually form a technology committee. So this was just an early way of my getting some feedback into whether or not there are staff members there who would like to help with this function. Some of the results of the technology integration staff survey, I got very good response rate. Most of the content areas actually participated. As you can see, we had results from the AVID teacher, several math teachers, several science teachers, social studies teachers, even teachers or staff members who were not in the classroom, and then some just did not want to identify what their subject areas were. The preferred devices from most teachers were the Chromebooks, even though the iPads were right, in second place. Many did not feel like they wanted to use the desktops, and I think it was just simply because there were less of them in the classroom, and that created more of a challenge. Some of the technology resources that were identified were Edmodo, ClassDojo, 10Mark, Smartboard, Evernote, Mobius Math, Edpuzzle, Gmail, Google Mail, the online textbook resources as well. So after I collected all of the survey information and analyzed all of that, then I actually came up with 4 goals for my technology integration plan. The first goal was around academic achievement and building tolerance for technology, testing through technology. The second goal was through ongoing professional development, being able to actually provide that for educators so that they would be able to use and integrate the technology effectively. My third goal was in accessibility, because that was a major problem in our building. Teachers just did not know how to access the technology that was already available. And then, of course, my last goal was to make sure that this plan resulted in something that was sustainable and that built accountability, so that not only the devices are protected, but also so that the process of being able to integrate the technology into our lessons was also protected. Now, the technology integration action plan included participation, the participants actually assisting in planning, implementing, and evaluating the PD, administrative support, as well as adhering to the principles of adult learning to ensure that I was fully engaging staff members into the learning process. And then following up and supporting the transfer of knowledge to ensure that the teachers felt that they could use the PD. Many times, as I said before, we attend PD, but then we do not implement it. So I wanted to make sure that teachers felt that they could implement it right away, immediately. Okay, the first thing I'd like to address is the planning and implementing and evaluating PD. As you can see from the technology integration survey, I did 2 surveys, one in the beginning when I collected information from staff members as to what they would like to see happen with the technology integration. And then the second survey was a follow-up towards the end. How did it go? How accessible were the devices? And then, several other questions. We implemented the professional development plan and got feedback. And some of the feedback included a plan, as you can see, as to when the teachers would use the actual knowledge that they had gained. And what I did with this information was I made sure that I stopped by to observe and to support, to ensure that teachers, felt as if integrating the technology into the classroom was a smooth transition and was somewhat seamless. And this seemed to work out really nicely because teachers continue to use some of those resources throughout the remainder of the year. Teachers also got to choose what the next technology professional development would be based on what they felt they needed. So they actually were able to vote and tell me what they wanted, and then based on that, I was able to set up the next plan.